Hello, let's get this party started. I just wanted to show you this and share this, and we'll talk about it more later. But today I went on Craigslist and I found a place that's lease purchase owner finance, and I sent a inquiry to the email address given. And this is a 20-acre lot with 2-bedroom, 2-bath home and greenhouse and a studio cottage on the property, and they're looking for lease to own, and they have water and septic. So they have a drilled well and a septic system, and there's plenty of water storage, and it's up on the east side away from Ukiah, so there's mountains on that side of the hill. And excuse me. It's the price is pretty high though. I mean, for 20 acres, but it's got a house. This is the property, the deck, inside, and there's a garage too on the property. That's inside the greenhouse. I mean, it could work, but it may not. Who knows? The idea here is that it inspired me to think more about presenting something for.
I'm going to fix it.
Oh.
1 second.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. Dale had to leave for a moment. He's having some computer link issues, I guess, something. So we shall wait for him to join us again. But anyway, and then
I was looking at the property, and I was kind of distracted because I was trying to get the volume back on. But so tell me about it.
well, okay, so this is the property that it's just a possibility. We don't know where this will go. The price is a little high, but it's a lease to own property, and there might be a possibility in that concept. It's 20 acres on the east side of Ukiah, which is the mountain range on the east side. And it has the property is supplied with 200 amp electric service, has a separate art studio that can double as a guest house. The main house features vaulted ceiling in the living room, a large deck, fireplace, wood and tile floors, and mountain views. The property has a drilled well and septic system, greenhouse, and plenty of water storage. The acreage is gently sloping, making it perfect for outdoor gardening. And it's a lease to purchase or owner financing that can be considered. And I sent a inquiry to the advertiser email, and said that I, represent Earth Soul Ministries and the Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families, and we are looking for property with several houses on for providing services, sanctuary for displaced American citizens that are being displaced socially, economically, and environmentally, and also for victims of domestic violence. We'll see what happens there. It just gave me incentive, though, to continue looking.
Well, you got to start someplace, Lyra.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, in relationship to San Francisco, where is Ukiah? East?
North.
North?
Yeah.
And
it's on one. It's
it's on Highway 1.
Yeah, it's 150 miles from San Francisco.
Oh, that's perfect.
Approximately. Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying.
Really is. And the total acreage is how much?
20 acres.
Uh-huh.
And, it could be a lease to own opportunity, possibility. That's what they're saying. And, you know,
Uh, yeah. So have they responded as far as what the cost is?
well, no, that's what I'm waiting for. And I've left a phone number and email. So I'm just going to see what happens from there. It also led me to think about how we can better present to, request help to get properties for people who are being displaced and
Yeah.
people who are victims of domestic violence and people who, just need a little more help and healing and some more education,
Yeah.
and being more holistic in this approach is what we're looking to do with providing opportunities in learning how to uh, do agriculture, environmental agriculture, whether it's aquaponics or drip irrigation,
Right. Yeah.
style gardening, and being able to turn grass into food, and
Yeah. Yeah.
more local produce, organic, natural, self-sustaining type of environment, and be able to provide a needed service and support not only for that type of education but also for the psychological trauma of losing houses, losing children, and being victims of domestic violence. All of these different issues are interconnected,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
there at some point has to be a place where people can come to heal and become whole again, and function in a better way in society, and help with this transformation, because there's a lot of people out there who are having a really hard time with this transformation that we're going through right now and don't know what to do. And there's a lot of homeless people in San Francisco right now that are
Yeah.
being
It's a growing it's a burning issue, and
extreme.
it's getting worse and worse and worse,
Yeah.
and it's going to get worse. You
And they
know.
and mass media wants to just point out, oh, well, there's all of these drug addicts on the street. Well, there aren't just drug addicts on the street. These people are not just drug addicts.
No.
Even those who are addicted to the heroin or the meth, they aren't just drug addicts. They're actual human beings,
Yeah.
and they're not being
It's,
treated like
well,
actual
if
human
if
beings.
you put it, it's just like Trump is trying to do with the immigrants. They're rapists. They're not human beings, and that gives them the rationale that they can not. They don't have to treat them like human beings. You know, it's a denigration of humanity. You know, it really is, and it's an abrogation of their responsibility to to take care of these people. You know, they're human beings and they're American citizens.
Yeah.
And what they're deciding to do is hang on to their money and forget about people. Well, that doesn't work. It just
No.
doesn't work.
and
You know.
and not everybody out there is of that mindset, but at the same time people are cautious about where they want to put their money to make sure that it actually helps humankind
Well,
and human kindness.
you can't chop up humanity and say, well, these people are entitled to nothing, and these people are lazy, and these people are, you take a broad brush and you just paint everybody with a very negative picture, and that justifies being inhuman to them.
That's
Because
the stereotype that people are suffering under. Yes,
so all we can do is set an example,
that's
and
right.
and just say, well, that isn't really the reality. Hello, Kelly.
Yeah, how are you?
Hi. So I'm glad you and I wanted to focus on excuse me, Clara, you may have something to say before I jump into this.
I do. I want to make sure that Kelly is up to speed about what we're talking about here. This is just one place that I've found that would be an ideal location for the projects that we're looking to set up. Now, the price is a little steep, but there's a opportunity in that it's a lease to purchase or owner financing that will be considered on this property, and this is kind of what we're looking for. I mean, we'd like to be able to have a broad uh, perspective here of what we want, but we want something that has water on it, on the land, has electricity on the land, and possibly has housing, you know like this place has 2-bedroom house and then a cottage and a greenhouse, and it's on 20 acres. And this is for providing sanctuary for American citizens, we're talking here, that have been displaced by socioeconomic circumstances, environmental circumstances, and just all of those stressors that we are currently all facing, and a lot of people are having a hard time with this transitioning because it's coming so fast, and we want to provide sanctuary for victims of domestic violence, victims of abuse, of whether it's legal abuse or otherwise. So that's what we were just talking about, Kelly.
Okay.
And then we want to welcome you and just
Thank you.
how are you doing?
Just a little bit stressed out. Uh, well, we just got back from the grocery store, and we still have some things to put away and all that stuff. But I'll put them away later. But where am I in the case? Let me see. My son's case. I am still. I guess it's still up in the air. Or Oh, wait, it's still up in the air. Though I'm not really sure if what we're doing. I know we've done the appeal case. I know it's probably going to go to the Missouri State Supreme. No, Missouri Supreme.
Superior Court?
Yeah, Missouri Supreme Court. And we have been looking through Michael's papers this last week. I had a hard time of going through them sometimes because I would break down and cry too. So. But I'm a little bit proud of myself for looking at some of it. And I know it's hard for me to go through it because everything is a lie. It's a stupid lie.
Yes, I understand and feel your pain, Kelly, and I hope that you were able to accomplish some things. While I know that this was a hard process to go through, but you're stronger now that you're actually working and getting
right,
the nitty-gritty of it.
Trying to get, right. There's like some papers like on right now we are at the kitchen table, and there's some papers like behind my computer. I don't know. It's just right now I'm just like taking a little by little of the going through some of the papers because I cannot handle everything. It's like because if I handle everything, I would break down and cry. It's like I really would. So I am.
Let me ask you: is the venue or the location that the Superior Court's going to be in? Is it in Jefferson City?
I think it might be. I think it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Now the other question is: it's my understanding that you have to exhaust all your remedies at the state level before they will kick it up to a federal level, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Right. Yes.
Okay? Because your civil rights, in fact, you get, see, the main thing is you get a lower court ruling hands and say, I don't care what else is going on down there,
Right.
but what we're going to do is take this child and put this child back for this mother.
Right. Right. Exactly. Because I'm going to fight until we win the case.
Yes.
No matter
Now,
how far we're going to get. No.
I do not want to be a nuisance or an interference.
You're not.
Uh,
You're not.
okay, so now what? If you haven't already done this, which you are, I think you probably have. What we need is just pretend like you're just like Trump. You're giving your deposition to us, and we're going to be make believe attorneys. And so what this does is it gives us the dates, the places, the names, the judges, basically tell your story in an email, and then forward it to each one of us.
Right.
Because what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing apart, and we're going to be a support system for you. Okay? Because we have to focus on one case and see it to completion and success to where we've demonstrated as a group that we helped you get your child back.
Right. Right.
Okay, that we're all working for a common purpose together. We're also going to talk about we don't have competing strategies. Each one of us in our area we're going to have multiple strategies all functioning at once, and so that we'll compare notes, and we'll put a coherent pathway for people that have a similar circumstance to where you are. What happened to you, and we'll get all these different pathways. What happened? Because not everybody had their children taken away in the same place. We're also so if you could, I've got a few ideas, but I want all of us to look at your case closely, and then we'll say, well, this is what we should do first. And so we're all working together. We're working at cross purposes.
And I wanted to just let both of you know Scott was going to try to be here tonight, but he has been otherwise engaged, and he may come in later, but he has tried to get a hold of the Department of Health and Human Services there in Jefferson County, and he has not had any response from his emails, and he's writing an inquiry email that is very broad and doesn't have anything to do specifically with your case, but has to do with disability rights advocates in your area. And we're trying to get an exact name and phone number of at least one disability rights lawyer there in your area that can help you through the process there locally, because you're going to need somebody like that supporting you right there in the courtroom, right there at the appeal level, at the Supreme Court level in your state as you're going through this process.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, the one thing I wanted to say about Kelly. Okay, Kelly has a vision problem, and she has aphasia, and she has dyslexia, and all of those together are all cognitive problems. And so, in processing information, she can process the information, but she needs to do it at a slower speed. And then the other thing is that she can't work like at something very long, close up, because her vision she has a problem with her vision in that her eyes don't converge on the same point. They can't scan. Her right eye only her left eye scans, and her right eye just kind of goes down the page. So she needs, and then it takes her 2.5 times longer according to the doctor, to process written information because of her visual problem. And I just wanted you to know that, so that um, there's certain things that she can do, but like computer stuff or close up, she can't do very long without getting a headache, and she sees double vision. Her eyes flip flop in and out of double vision, and sometimes the words kind of jump around on the page. So I just wanted you to know that about her capability of like to look over information and decide what it says. There's a lot of it that she, because of her experiences, she doesn't know a lot of technical terms and all that. So she will be glad to help, but
So,
Thanks,
yeah.
Marge, and I understand, Kelly. And something that just came to me is, you know, have you ever tried to just cover one eye
No,
and
it's not that kind of a thing.
it's not kind of
The right eye muscle is damaged, and it goes.
Right.
The eye goes out, drifts out, and then the other thing is that basically one of the things recommended was that she have a vision therapy, which she never got because of the expense, but it has affected because of reading being a through the eye of being the main way of learning things in everybody. Uh, she she needs to take longer time to process the information. She can learn it, but she needs someone kind of there to read things with her if she has problems, and then also to talk over. If you talk over things with her, then she understands it and a lot easier than if she just reads and tries to figure it out herself.
well, and this is another reason why we're asking her to get the files together for us all to look through, because we can help with reading the material, but we need to have access to the material to read it.
Okay, so okay, I'm not clear on that. How are we getting the material to you?
Okay, well here's the short list. If you compile the documents that you have from the beginning to the end, and that means transcripts and any documents that you may have, then and then what we need to do is get copies of those for all of us. So
Yeah.
you just say how much money do you need to get the copies, and then how much money do you need to ship those boxes to each one of us.
Or actually, I have a better idea.
Okay.
You can go to any copier place and they can scan and put the documents pages on a zip drive.
I have a scanner and a copier machine.
Well, then that's what I suggest you do. You scan every single one of them from the beginning to the end. Make sure that it's in the right order, okay?
Right.
So that we can look through it adequately. And, you know, each the discovery report, the deposition, the jurisdictional report, and then your TPR and all of these different documents, each one, just put it in a folder. Say, this is this document. This is this document. I know it's going to take time, but this is what it is required to actually get this going. Go for it.
That's what I'm confused about. Okay, when you're scanning it, you're saying put it in a folder. Do you mean just keep? Do you mean to keep only the papers that you've got in folder, so you know, and then scan them, but without any kind of a folder with it?
I would put them each document in its own folder. just to make it easier for us to reference, because otherwise it's going to be is just pages and pages of documentation in
And
one
this is
file. And it,
okay. Now, as far as the expense, what you have to do is let us know how much money you need to buy, because if there's 4 or 5 of us working with you, then we need, each one of us needs a copy where we are.
I
So
thought, okay, I thought, okay, aren't we like volunteers?
I'm
yeah, I'm
volunteering,
volunteering.
I'm volunteering, and I'm also volunteering to help pay for all these copies, because it's going to take a lot of paper, and approximately.
Well, Dale, that's why I'm saying put them on the zip drives instead of having actual paper copies. We each get a zip drive
And make our own copies.
make our own copies if we
Okay,
need to. Yeah.
that reduces.
Do a zip drive. What's a zip drive? How do you do a zip?
It's a little device that has a USB. It's a little thing that's about this long and about 3/4 of an inch wide, and it's got a USB port, and you put it in your computer and say, and you download it on that. Then you take the zip drive to a print shop, or if you or your own printer, and then download it and print it. And so instead of having a disk, it's just a mechanical device.
Right, okay, they're talking about the USB port thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they call it a flash drive.
Right,
Okay.
right,
Or a
right.
zip drive.
Zip drive, and just it has to have enough capacity so that you can put all the total sum of all the documents and the transcripts and everything, and the story about the case. And then what we can do, that takes the burden off you, because what we'll get together on these Tuesday night shows and go over the paperwork and get the story down, so we all have the same story and we all relate the same story. We don't get 2 different stories going or 3 different stories going and create a lot of confusion.
Right,
Okay,
okay.
I have a question. Okay, my question is, after we get all this stuff on a
USB port.
use it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm an analog guy. I like paper, and because I just
So do I.
right.
I can organize it and look at it, and now I may put it on the computer to store it, but ultimately I'm going to have a hard copy, because when I go to somebody, if it's a legal document, it has to be, okay, here's the records, and they're going to have to go through it and write whatever order has to be done legally, And
but how do we get it? How do we give it? My question is, how do we get it to you guys?
You send that.
We'll
you
send
can
you
send
our
it to us.
addresses.
Huh?
You can send it to us on that flash drive.
Yeah, we'll send you our addresses.
On our email addresses. So
Send it to the email address.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can download it on flash drives, and we can take it to a print shop and have it printed if we need it. I'm not saying.
Dale, we're talking about a humongous file. This is something that they can't just send via email. It has to be uploaded to a Google Drive or something. What I would recommend is that you get multiple little drives, which are like $5, $6 a piece.
Right.
Because that's going to be a lot cheaper than making all the copies. Dale, we're talking about.
I hear you.
I have 9 boxes of material from my own case.
Yeah.
4 boxes.
This is 4 boxes of us.
Thousands of sheets of paper.
Yes.
So what we can do is we can go through this process and put it on the computer, discuss each segment of the case. So we really get highly organized and focused together about what we're doing in our separate areas, and we got to start someplace, and we can familiarize ourselves with the case with the flash drive.
Okay, I have a question on, like, Okay, the whole thing started actually because of Children's Mercy Hospital. And my question is, should I send Brian, who was our attorney at the time, made a motion to include Children's Mercy Hospital in the lawsuit, but the judge wouldn't let him. But he has, his motion is very, very well organized, and I was wondering if I should send that first with any supporting information.
Was
And
it
then,
assigned to the case? Was
Is
the
that the
case
beginning?
number on that particular document? Was your case number on that?
yes, it is.
Okay,
She
so
made the
then
motion, but the judge turned it down.
yeah, I think that it is very important that you include those documents.
And Marge,
Okay, this whole
that's
thing-
where it started, right at Mercy Hospital at the very beginning.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
yeah.
They're the ones that. Okay, they were. Kelly went there. Michael went there in August, and then he went again in September. And back in August the 20th, Children's Mercy Hospital had contacted, or I don't know whether DFS contacted, but anyway, Children's Mercy Hospital and Missouri Division of Family Services got together and started trying to figure out a way to take Michael from Kelly and to prove that she was incapable of taking care of him because of her disability.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that should definitely be included in the drive. And
And they're the ones that made the hotline.
Right.
And
so
but this has never been mentioned since Brian did the motion, and the judge turned it down. This has never. I couldn't get them to mention the fact that this is where it started.
so they would be then considered a party to fraud
Okay, because
in
Were they
that.
involved in testimony in the court at all, as far as, or is there testimony in the transcripts that they testified against you, or did they just submit depositions and documents
who testified against me?
Did anyone testify against you,
from the
Kelly,
hospital?
from the
Oh
hospital?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
we
Yeah,
have
we
a
did.
report
Okay.
from the
Yeah.
hospital that.
Yeah, well, you guys start from the beginning, and we'll just take one flash drive at a time,
Okay.
and
I mean,
and
yeah, you could actually send them if you do just one document at a time. You can send it via email or via Google Zip Drive. The Google Drive, the Google Drive has that feature. You can have like 150, 200, 600 pages, I think, was one document that's well, it's from a university, but I don't know if they, I don't know how, but anyway. So yeah, there are ways we can get around even spending that much if you wanted to just start sending each, you get a whole document scanned and then send it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And as far as the the separate documents from the what do they call the people that did the visitation?
Oh, that's the parent aides.
Yeah, the parent aid. Their documents
parent
tonight.
aids.
So we put them all together because there was 4 different parent aids. That and then there's neurological and the neuropsychological one and the psychological.
So if you can keep them in different categories, like stuff from the hospital, stuff from the reports, the court, and CPS, and stuff from the individual providers, testimony letters, evidence in your favor, etc., and separate them like that, then
Okay.
it'll be a little bit easier to.
and we'll absorb this case, and then we'll start saying, what are we going to do to support you to make this thing go better? Who are the people that we are going to approach? Who are we going to talk to? Who are we going to say? And this all has to be with your approval and your attorney's approval.
Right.
He has to know exactly what we're doing. And there's
Right.
another thing, Kelly. He may have some things that we can do to help him. Okay, as volunteers in his legal battle and on your behalf.
Well, and
Okay.
also as the ministry, you know, because of our non-biased opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
We
Right.
don't, you know.
Clearly, in the handicapped community, the only thing that we should be doing is giving you support and assistance to help you keep your child.
Right. Right. Okay.
And no matter what, that's the objective. That
Okay.
nobody has any right to step in and take your children away from you because there's a judgment made that you're somehow incapable.
Yeah,
So
that if for anybody with disabilities, unless it's extreme disability, you know, because there are actual laws I don't know if every state has them, but there are laws in a lot of states that a parent who cannot fully care for a child by themselves has a right to have parent assists come
Yeah.
in, parent aides from the state. These are laws, and nobody's putting the effort into it. Nobody's, because there's no money in that.
Right.
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 But they're laws. This is what's supposed to happen first. This is
Right.
where and it even says in several court documents that I can't pull up right out of the top of my head right now, that, you know, the best place for the child is with the parents
always.
always.
And then if there's any deficiency that's lacking on the part of the parent, it's for the community to provide you the help that you need to keep your family together, for your children and everything.
But
So
there is the ADA, which has a specific
I looked at that the other
the
day.
specific paper, the document that they've sent out to all the Children's Division of Family Services, that the specific things that they are supposed to do in working with a person with disability. And it specifically even tells the court how they're supposed to proceed, what they're supposed to do, and how they're supposed to prove that the person can or cannot do something. And that's by actually giving the person an exercise to do, and then monitoring how it's done instead of just deciding, oh, she can't do this, she can't do that. But that is an excellent article, and it's an excellent, and if the court followed that, it would be a lot better.
Well,
yeah.
so would you be able to pull up the link for that and share that tonight, or?
Yeah.
Yes, I could.
Okay, that would be great. And we'll put that, you can post it also on the group Parents with Disabilities, where we have parents with
I
disabilities.
have posted it, but the problem with the paper is that it it goes into detail exactly what they're supposed to do, but a person has to read it completely through to understand what's supposed to be done. So I've been trying to figure out a way to kind of break it down so you can see each section and what's supposed to be done and point out, like even friends of people who are even if you have a friend and you're the parent and you have a friend that's disabled, they can't discriminate that friend in testifying or helping you in any way, because that would be disability discrimination. And that points that out in there, how you handle that. So it covers a broad area.
All right, so I've been working a lot lately in graphs and putting things in categories and stuff, and I can help with that. So
Okay,
we can, because we need to break it down into simpler
right,
terms,
Right.
is what you're saying. And I understand that even for me, I need things broken down into
so
simpler
do
terms, and I've started adapting to understanding how to do that because of the class that I'm taking in human resource management and the work I do for the Family Rights Party. So these are all intermingled type of activities, and I want to be able to improve the quality and ability for parents of all uh, situations, including
right,
parents with disabilities, to better be able to know their rights and know how to fight for their rights.
right. This document is put out by the U.S. Health Department and the Justice Department together.
Okay, I think I might have read a little bit of this document. But yeah, if you can send it again on to me,
Okay.
I will look through it again more closely, and we can go from there. Okay?
I guess I could put, like, if I send it to you, I guess I could put information for the case, and just so that you kind of know that it can be used for other people, but this is information for Kelly's case.
Right. Of course.
Right.
Yes. Absolutely. And that's what we need to start with. That's what we're doing here.
Okay, what about, I'm kind of confused on the lawyer situation. How were you handling that?
Well, see, it's because you are already represented by a lawyer.
Uh-huh,
Right.
Okay, and we're here as a ministry that's helping you. We
uh-huh,
want to be able to be in contact with your lawyer to see
Okay.
what he's able to do,
okay,
okay, and how we can help and improve the situation, okay?
okay,
Okay. So,
We don't want to. We don't want to do anything whatsoever that is adversely going to affect your case.
No,
Okay.
okay. Do
So
we
this
need
is why we have to have close communications with both with you and your attorney. You know, if we're going to, we're a coalition. We're a group of people, volunteers that are working together for your benefit. Okay. So and so we want to make sure that everything we do is for your benefit. We don't add to the problem.
yeah,
You know,
there's a lot of people out there claiming they are advocates, and they end up messing the case up worse for the parents. We don't want to do that.
Right.
yeah,
Right. Right. I understand that.
We want to be responsible for helping you reunite with your son.
Right.
Okay?
so
Right.
We don't want
you guys are in charge, and you and your attorney are going to direct us and say, well, Lyra, if you could do this, and Dale, if you can do that, and Scott, if you can do this, it would be a really big help.
Okay.
okay, but the attorneys we have right now are refuse to bring up situation about Children's Mercy Hospital, and they don't see that the judge's decision was illegal. They see the judge as just his way of interpreting the situation, and so I'm not quite sure how well this is going to go with them.
Well, the governing, well, we're gonna be like the invisible men. We're just going to be an adjunct to your legal staff, but we're
Right,
not going to be a paid staff members. We're volunteering to
Right.
help you.
Right.
So I really question if the source of if the decision making process was the hospital was instrumental in the decision to have your child taken away from you. If they were instrumental in that decision, then that is the essence of conspiracy or collusion. You know,
right,
yes.
so they for a judge, what that tells me is the judge is part of this fiasco. You
And
know,
if the lawyers are not willing to discuss anything with us, then we will proceed with, we will continue finding avenues of support for you still. Like I said earlier, Scott has put out feelers looking for a disability rights lawyer in Jefferson that can help you. And we're waiting for
and basically,
response.
if Scott finds an attorney that's working with disability, the first thing that attorney is going to do is get with your attorney and work out that strategy to bring this hospital into the loop and the judge.
And if they're not, then there's something really wrong going on there.
Yeah, so we got to get to the bottom of this.
Right.
And ultimately, it get kicked. If it get kicked, if it get kicked, once you exhaust the remedy at the lower courts, and it gets kicked up to a higher court, all you need, we don't need a jury, we don't need anything. The judge is going to look at the facts of the case, and he's just going to hit his gavel, put a stamp on a piece of paper, and say, I don't know if the Department of Justice is going to execute the order, or the marshals, but there's going to be some law enforcement officer on the federal level that goes and picks up your child and brings them to you under the order of a court and a judge.
There is a case which was a precedent-setting case with the ADA, with the Department of Justice and the Department of Health, that it was the first time that the ADA group supported the person and said that what the CPS did was wrong. She has a disability. Her baby was taken away right away because she had a disability, which was a minor one, but also her parents had everything set up so that she was going to stay home and her parents were going to help her. And anyway, the ADA people found the CPS in the wrong, and I can find that case and send it to you if that would be helpful.
That's
Fantastic.
Justice Pallenmeyer. That was the judge that ruled in that case, I believe, was Justice Pallenmeyer. And she is a retired judge now. She no longer is a Supreme Court judge. I forget what district, but she was a federal Supreme Court judge. So, and that was in 2007, I believe. I have that link on the website and some other places. One of the things that I've noticed across the board is that what one federal court rules is not necessarily going to keep and be sustained throughout. And so this is again about more focus on accountability in these court systems and the judges being just and upholding our civil rights at every turn, and our parental rights at every turn.
And also the rights of the disabled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they took what the strange thing was, and that's why I feel the setup from the beginning, is the strange thing is that when Children's Mercy started involving CPS, which we didn't have any idea was going on, they started attacking me. They started by saying that I had been mental health problems and that I couldn't help Kelly for more than 5 minutes. They said that both Kelly and I were educationally challenged, which I have a master's degree in reading, and all the way through they constantly said that Kelly had delays, and because of that she couldn't take care of Michael. And the other thing is that they continually threatened Kelly that if she didn't do certain things, they were going to report her to DFS.
Wow. Yeah, they've been targeting your family for a long time. That is very, very tragic.
So this whole thing, the way Okay, the original document that Children's Mercy put out is what fed DFS into constantly attacking Kelly because of her ability. All the information came from Children's Mercy Hospital. It was full of lies. It was full of constantly said that her cognitive ability was not helpful, and then they set out to prove that. And so what they did was they put her on a 72-hour whatever it's called. I can't quite figure out what the name letters stand for, but anyway, during that time, she was totally to take care of Michael by herself. Nobody was to help her. She was to do everything: formula, bottles, changing diapers, changing his clothes. Nobody helped her as far as giving her a break because of not getting enough sleep. Uh, they constantly were setting it up so that eventually that's why they took Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's very easy to set anybody up for failure.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm talking to anybody. You can create the circumstances where whatever task you give them, if you construct it right, it's constructed with the intent that you fail.
Right. But I mean, when you teach somebody, you teach them and then have them do it, and then you teach them again to make sure they know it.
In any normal circumstance, if you had your baby there, I don't care if it's you had to prepare formula or you had to change a diaper, you would prove that to me, obviously, a perfectly wired mother at 21 years of age is going to do it a lot faster. So what?
I was 26 when I
So,
had my.
yeah,
So
but it doesn't matter how fast you do it. If you get it
that's
done,
right.
that's what matters.
And in
Well,
fact,
they even included the fact that you give
in
your
fact,
medicine
I was
herself.
going to say, that little baby enjoys of all the time that you take with it, and it's probably the process of being with that little baby and paying attention to it and loving it. That's more important than anything.
Well, the other thing too is that on taking care of him, they constantly she was supposed to hold him a certain way because he had acid reflux, and she wasn't holding him a certain way, that was held against her. If she didn't do the bottles right, she spilled some formula, that was held against her.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I
those
mean,
are those.
how
The
you could,
point of it is, can you demonstrate to me that you can get that kid fed enough on a daily basis so it doesn't starve or get sick? And
Yeah,
you
I
know,
was trying to. Well, I was at that time. I was okay. Oh yeah, I was 26. I just had him. I was We came back from St. Luke's East Hospital after I had him, but before that, I had we stayed at least a couple of days, and then after that, I was like so tired after having him, and I was trying to take care of him and trying to um
here's
recover.
the other thing about that test. Here's the other thing about that test. The idea is that you're going to have a support system, right? And
Right.
and
Right.
and and your mom's going to be there. Somebody's going to be there, always give you a hand and help you. And so the reality of your life is not going to be a test, you know. And you can get on the phone call and get some help. There are places that say, "Could you give me a hand? I'm having a little struggle."
That's
So
what.
this test was put together by some Dr. Frankenstein, and it was the intent to do you injury and your mother injury,
Right.
okay, and show to the court, well, yeah, these are incompetent based on these parameters, but it has nothing to do with real life.
No. No.
well, the one nurse even, well, she was working with Kelly and she said, well, if you don't understand and you don't know how to do this, then I guess we'll have to report you to DFS.
Well, and this is a very sad case, but I don't want you to dwell too much on that. I want you to focus more on getting these documents together for us to review, and we'll work with you, and I'd like to just share with everybody, this is what we do. We're here to help, okay? We're the Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families. We have a Parent Advocate Network meeting every Saturday at 7 p.m. and then we have other meetings to assist and discuss other business on Tuesdays, and that's what we have done tonight. And, this is brought to you by Earth Soul Ministries. We stand for peace, justice, and prosperity for all. We are here to help. And, the law of one, this is what we believe. We are all one. And when one is harmed, all are harmed. And when one is helped, all are helped. And when one is healed, all are healed. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all that is, I ask that only that which is in the highest good of all concerned happen. And I give thanks that this is done. So be it, and so it is. And that you can find at coalitionforprotection.com. And I invite everybody to join us in these meetings, and we're here to help. We're here to demonstrate that it does take a village of lots of concerned people to understand and assist parents with disabilities. That's, what our focus here tonight is about, is assisting a family with disabilities, because it is not easy for everybody to read all of this information, to comprehend and understand what your rights are and how to defend your rights and bring your families together. And that's what we're here to do, is we're here to assist on a one person, one family basis, and also the greater population of families in this stress and distress. And so, we're starting with you, and we'll see how else we can help. And you've got some key focused plans to execute, and we look forward to seeing the first document and the documents that follow.
Okay.
You're part of our community,
Right.
and we're going to work as a community to help you. That's the essence of it. And once we are successful and you have your child back, we're going to have be able to demonstrate how we did it, the steps we took, what worked, what didn't work, and every case is going to be that much more organized and that much quicker, and so that you're the first thing, we have to have a case, Kelly. Yeah,
Right.
and then so we've got a case.
Yeah,
Okay, we've got a winner.
A humdinger of a case, for sure.
Humdinger. And so we're all in this together, and we don't care how long it takes. We're gonna keep at it until we get it done.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly. Until he comes back home. Exactly.
That's right. Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
After he comes back home, I will show him. Show him on this screen too, so you can.
And you're not alone, you guys. Okay, we're gonna do this together. All right.
Okay, the other thing that makes this complicated is that Michael has problems, delay problems, that they're saying that he has not study. I don't know that to be true, but they took him for genetics testing, which Kelly didn't want him to do. Anyway, and then the other thing that's bothering me is every single time, all the way through his medical records, they are describing Kelly as mentally challenged.
I
Well,
think most of the people in this country are mentally challenged right now.
and, and here's hey,
You're right. You're
here's the whole thing. Okay, the idea is whatever Michael's capacities are, that they're fulfilled to the maximum.
But okay, but the thing
And
is,
we don't know what Michael's capable of. All we can do is help him and make him stronger and make him more, do everything we can so that he fulfills his capacity, whatever that may be. And that's all he has to do.
okay, the other thing is that the judge is saying that Kelly does not accept in his written statement. He does not accept. Kelly does not accept that she was at fault in being Michael into CPS custody because she was the one who didn't feed him enough. She's the one who caused him to have failure to thrive. But the strange thing of it is in January of 2015, when he had been in maybe almost 2 years in DFS custody, one of the doctor's reports says that he was concerned about Michael's failure to thrive. But then the judge said it's all her fault. She caused it.
No, it's not.
Well,
There's nothing to find out.
this is all a part of what we need to read through to
Okay.
get a fully informed perspective of who said what, and that's why you put it in the different sections.
Yeah, section.
Okay. So from the court reports to the CPS reports to the hospital medical records would be one section, letters of recommendation are another section, transcripts are another section. That's all important information. What we're looking for is those gems that we can pull out of there that say, well, here's a civil rights violation that we have proof happened.
Right.
Here's a disability rights discrimination that we can prove happened, and these are the perpetrators of it. Okay.
Ideally, I wish you were my sister, and I wish I had a little infant that I could give you to babysit for me.
Me?
Yes, absolutely, Kelly. And I'd like to get it on video, and how grateful I'd be that you were taking care of my child. Get it on testimony.
Is there, and that brings up another thought. Is there, I know that a lot of your time is focused on this, and we want to take some of that burden off of you, Kelly. And is there any community that you are involved with right now, like a community network?
We were, but we're not right now.
That makes it easier. That makes it easier for them to attack you.
Yeah,
if there was a really strong support group and people around you that were concerned about you and said this isn't right, if I was there and I was your next door neighbor and we had a long-term relationship, I would be raising holy hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are indifferent. If you isolate yourself, please don't isolate yourself. The people care. They just need to know.
Right.
And I know that it's hard in depression. Believe me, I know. I've suffered from depression for a long time.
Right, I'm going through depression.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been 6.5 years since I have had my children in my custody. Okay. And I haven't seen them in 2.5 years. And my infant's birthday, he turned 7 on April 16th, which was 1 week after my birthday. I haven't been able to wish him happy birthday in 3 years. It's truly sad. So, the thing is to get out there, Get involved. See if there's a daycare center you can become involved with as a assistant,
as an aide,
as an aide, not as an actual provider, but as an aide.
as an aide.
Okay.
And start building up some references about
And
how you interact with children and infants.
Okay.
and even babysitting, even
If you can,
babysitting,
yeah.
Wait,
you know.
I thought, well, somebody said that, I don't know if it was, it might have been Aaron. It might have been Aaron that told me that, I think it was one of the, I think it was one of the parent aides that told me that I wasn't able to, um, that I wasn't able to,
Work at any place with children.
yeah, work at any place with children. I was gonna why. It's like,
Oh, that's the other thing too. They've told her that, or at least our attorneys, and when they first took the case, said that Kelly would not be able to keep any child that was born to her within
after,
3 years after,
yeah,
within 3 years after her rights were terminated.
right.
Well, here's
Wow.
and,
No,
and I think
I
I
think that's wrong though.
I believe the somewhere in this disabilities association, we are going to find people that will actually help you learn how to do, you know, those rough areas that you have with children. Everybody has them, and have coping mechanisms so that you can interact with your child and have a completely positive result. You
But
know,
it's just, you know, like I'm saying, if you can just become an aide somewhere, they won't, you know, if you're volunteering time,
Yeah, right, right,
they are not going, most likely not going to be doing in-depth research into your past. They'll see if you have a criminal record. I mean, you know, that's pretty much it. That your address is confirmed. You live where you say you live.
right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I mean, you know, even hiring an aide, I don't think that they do more than that because you're just an aide. You're not the actual primary care provider. Okay. But just getting in on the ground level will give you some experience interacting with children and also show that you have the capability and that whoever the care provider is should be able to write you a recommendation. And
okay,
that's what you're looking for. And the
So
same with the babysitting. And, you know, because if you have friends, I mean, I hope you have friends. I know it's hard.
I kind of do and I kind of don't. It's like, I'm not really, like, around here, not really. There's a couple of them that I do, but they're out of state. And so I, one, well, one, his name is Jen. She's out of state, but I wish she was a little bit closer. But she's
Well, get involved in your community. Just, you know, find something that you like to do, whether it's gardening
or
or daycare or food
daycare center.
service,
I
you know, for
yeah,
homeless.
I do like the daycare and everything, and
Don't
just
you like working with animals too?
Yeah, there's the animal care. I mean, all of these will show that you have competency to do something, that you
Yeah,
can operate.
we have to create evidence to the contrary
Yes.
that the judgment was flawed.
Okay.
Okay, they didn't take the effort to really see what you're capable of, you know, and they made snap judgments, and it had the power of the courts and the testimony of doctors. You know, they have their opinions, and they probably weren't child care specialists, or you know, really were had a good thorough knowledge of the disability, and so this is what we have to present evidence to the contrary, and you can discuss this with your attorney, but I think he's going to agree with us.
I think so too, yeah.
So one thing is we did belong to, and that was when she was younger, but we did belong to, it's a group called EFFECT, Encouraging Families of Exceptional Children Together, and we were very active in that, to the point where we went to Jefferson City and met the different people down there to encourage them to support disabilities, and we went to quite a bit of their social life, and we haven't gotten into a group like that again. It was more for younger people, but we went to different places, like to learn how to deal with the legislature and how to interact and what questions to ask, that type of thing.
Maybe you could become a representative for the Coalition for Protection of Children and Families and offer your services as a mentor for some of that, because you have that experience from the past and you say this is for younger adults. That's,
Right,
Right.
that would
I
be an
mean,
idea.
Marge, especially you and Kelly, yeah. I mean, you've gone through the experience, you've gone through the paperwork and stuff. That is a possibility as well. There are lots of ways you can get involved in the community, and I know that it's hard to come out of this depression, but I mean, we've got to, if we're going to be able to actually regain our rights and maintain them.
So this is a case, Kelly, where you have to be an advocate for yourself. The label that they put on you, that is not who I am. Okay, I am more than capable of taking care of my child, and this is how you're going to prove it to the courtroom. And so all their conversation and all their opinion is overwhelmingly disputed. You know.
Okay,
It becomes mute.
the other thing is that, okay, within the testimony during the termination of parental rights hearing, she went to mental health court and and she was there for she with the Rediscover here in Kansas City, but anyway, she went there and did what she was supposed to do in learning techniques how to control her anger, and she completed the course, and the person who was in charge of her wrote a letter saying how well she did, that she did it better than most people do, and she did it with a shorter time, and how well had her uh, she had coping skills for anger management. But yet the judge heard all that, but he turned around in his report and said there was no evidence that she had done anything about anger management.
Yes, and that happened in my case, and I know it's happened in other cases. That's why we're talking about building more
Right.
of a support for your capabilities and your abilities to function and operate. So, you have some homework, and we look forward to it. And I hope that you can try to take some time to breathe,
Okay.
and rest. Rest assured that you have
Right.
people who want to advocate and assist you here, and that you don't have to do this all alone. None of us should do this all alone.
Right.
Okay?
How do we become a part of the Coalition for Parental Rights? Like in the way you said.
I'm sorry?
I said, how do we become involved, I think you said, in Coalition of Parental Rights, in the way you said of being an advocate? I mean,
Oh, no, it's not the Coalition of Parental Rights. It's the Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's who we are, and you're already involved. So, if you want to give me your address, I can send you some business cards. It just has the web address on it and the logo.
Okay.
Okay, so that people know that you're a part of that. We're working on getting buttons or jackets or something like that put together. That was another thing we were going to discuss, but it's going to be for another meeting. And you know, there's a lot to do here. There's a lot to do, both individually and as the whole. And we have other discussions and work to do for sure. So
Oh,
yeah.
You know, you are already, by advocating for yourself, an advocate for families and children.
Yeah.
So you're your own best volunteer, and then we got other people like myself and Lyra and Scott that are there. We're focused on this. We want to make this successful. We want to get your kid back, and
right.
so and then what we want to do it in a way that we gender support and from the community. We don't want to go out and ruffle a lot of feathers and attack everybody. But we just want the main thing is that your child in your custody where it belongs.
Okay.
That's our goal.
I mean,
What about,
mhm.
okay, taking care of seeing that the judge and the commissioners and the parent aides and all these people come to justice?
Well,
Well,
here's the
this,
thing, Marge. You have to remember, they're all the things that we don't have control over. We only have to focus on what we can do.
No, but I mean, because people keep saying something about give the judge his name and do something about seeing that he doesn't do it anymore, and I'm not quite sure where I go to do that.
well, you would have to file a complaint with the
Criminal?
Public Judicial Review Council, I believe.
Okay.
And this is a part of your state, and this is all a part of the steps that every parent needs to take in going through the legal process.
Hold on just a minute.
Wait a minute. Kelly,
So,
come back here.
so you know, it's again going through your paperwork, getting all of this information together, itemizing the violations,
Right.
providing the proof. All of this, it has to be broken down into these steps in order to succeed.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
can I?
Marge, let's look at it this way, Kelly, Marge. What the objective is to get your child back. And the fact
Kelly,
that you get your child back,
hold on.
that is going to be evidence that everybody that worked together to get that child away from you is under the microscope.
Yeah. And Kelly wanted to say something. Yes, Kelly, go for it.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. Do we need? My question is, I can't even get my words out. Hold on.
Take a
We're
deep
not
breath.
going anywhere, Kelly. It'll come to you.
Take a deep breath.
Right now, I'm about to cry.
Take some deep breaths. Come on. Breathe in through the
Breathe in.
nose.
You got to get some oxygen in there.
You do. Breathe
Yeah,
in
really.
deep. Fill that belly with air.
Yeah.
And then hold it. Try to hold it for a minute.
Huh?
And then release it.
Well, I was gonna ask him about the emails. My question is, can we do we need your emails? You and Daniel's email?
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put mine in here.
You see my email on the screen?
Spreading light at
Yahoo.com. It's just spreadlight@yahoo.com. And so we can establish a way of communication. And also, I want to give you my phone number.
Okay.
562. Okay, one thing at a time.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
One thing at a time. No rush.
Okay, I'm writing right now. I'm writing your address.
You got my when you get my email address written down, then I'll give you my phone number.
Just type it in, Dale, so that we don't advertise it, because this is going public. I don't think you want a whole bunch of people calling you right now, do you?
Well, if I got my, it's a public phone number. It really is.
Okay.
In the true sense of the word. So they're welcome to it. They may have an issue. They might need to talk to me. And generally speaking, I don't know. It just works out that not too many people call me unless it's really, really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
At yahoo.com? Okay. That's
Okay.
you. That's you, Dale.
Okay. And yeah, when you let me know when you get the email address written down.
Okay.
Okay. No rush.
Okay, I got it now.
Okay.
I got your address.
Okay. Spreadlight@yahoo.com. And
Right.
my phone number is 562.
562. Okay.
That's in Long Beach, California. 326
326
4197.
4197.
And you're in California, so you're 2 hours earlier than us.
Right.
That's right.
So
We
you,
gotta remember that.
so you,
Well, listen, whatever you guys, if you show up, if you knock on my door one night, all of a sudden I'll say, oh, you'll be welcome, okay?
okay, yours, okay, Lyra's is, coalition. Okay, see.
That's part of being a community, is committing to each other. That's the easy part, and then sticking together. That's the difficult one, no matter what.
We can either be animals and just look out for ourselves, but even a lot of animals don't just look out for themselves. I want to make that little point. But we can be those pack animals that are
Depend on each other.
depending on each other and working together for a common goal. And it's not just survival, it's thriving.
Okay,
Yes.
let me give you my email address.
Okay.
Okay. Now, just what you can do, Kelly, is just send me an email.
Okay.
Yeah, your email address will be on it,
I'll do that.
and then we'll start communications. And that's anytime you feel the need to talk with me about the issue of any issue, but particularly the issue of your family and your child.
Right.
Don't hesitate. Okay, I'm available 24/7. I don't know when that need may arise. I don't care.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I really do need your. Actually, I do need a lot of support right now. So.
Yeah, well,
we're here to support you. That's what we're here for.
I can see the sense of urgency since I first joined the call.
Really?
Okay. So there's no more appropriate place to put our attention than you and your mom and your child.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right. I just have to just tell myself that I can do this and that we can do this and that we can get Michael back and.
Yes, we can. You bet.
Yes, we can. And we if we hit a bump in the road, we just keep going. Okay, we don't let it rattle us. And I think a lot of what's going to happen, Kelly, is through our conversations, you're going to discover a pathway, and you're going to say, "This is what I'm going to do."
Right.
And so it's finding out the best place to go, and for any given situation. And we'll discover that if we put our minds to it.
Okay. Right. That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And keep in mind, your attorney. We're going to defer to him until he really does something incredibly weird that we all agree that's weird, and based on our experience and our background, and then. I don't want to say anything negative about your attorney, but if we can find a better attorney that will get quicker results,
right.
but I don't want to. I don't want to put anything negative on all the good work that's been done so far.
Right.
You know.
And okay. Okay. There's another question I have. Do we need to send you our attorney's name and email address to you?
No,
to you
because
guys?
when you send now, I'm also going to give you my home address. Okay, where I live. Okay, are you ready to write that down?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it's one. Okay, first my name. First name is Dale.
Okay, I
D-A.
got it. Okay,
The last name is Blome. That's B as in boy, L O M as in mother, E as in Edward. And okay, my address is 1005 Freeland, Freeland, Long Beach, California, 90807. Now it's
Okay. Oh, wait, hold on.
Okay.
I got like 10:05 like 1005 10. No, actually, there's 2 zeros. 1005. Freeland, and then
Long Beach, California. The city of Long Beach, California.
Okay, Long Beach, California. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the zip code?
Okay, zip code is what?
90807.
9
5? 5 or
Nine.
9?
90807.
07.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, and so that's my name and I'm going to give you my post office box, so that if you send me we live in an apartment building. It's a nice apartment building, but the mail has been broken into before.
Oh, wow.
So I have a post office box that you send. If you're going to mail me something, then you mail it to me at post office box. Dale Blome, post office box, P.O. Box.
Okay.
Damn, I really feel I've got to. Okay, I've got to look at a box that was mailed to me.
Okay.
Post office box 4601, and that's Long Beach, California, 90804. It's in another zip code, but in the same city.
Okay, so it's 4061 what?
40 Post office box 4601,
Okay.
Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, California. Okay, Long Beach, California. Okay, 4601. I can't even write. Oh, okay, right here. I forgot.
Okay.
And then it's in another zip code, so that's 90804.
90804.
Okay, what was the post office box?
The P.O. box.
Yeah.
Post office is P.O. Box 4601.
Oh, 4601. Okay.
Okay.
Long Beach, California, 90804. See, the post office box is in 90804. That's another location. I live in 90807.
Oh, okay.
The post office box. So that's been a permanent post office box. So regardless of where we move, all of our mail is sent to one place.
Okay.
Never lose contact.
Okay.
And I've had the same phone number now for a number of years. So, not if I don't answer the phone, then probably I'm in the next world, but I'll still be helping you.
Okay.
That's in the next world.
Right.
That doesn't mean I've abandoned the project. Okay. The commitment is we're not gonna stop until you have your child. That's the goal.
Right.
Okay. And
exactly.
Okay. So feel free. If you have something to send me, or you want to write a letter, you feel like writing a letter, you feel like writing an email, you want to talk to me, it's
Okay. I have all that stuff. I thought,
Awesome.
I thought when, I thought when you said Lyra, I thought, or actually, wait, no, is that right? No, yeah, Lyra, is
Yes,
it?
this is
Yeah.
Lyra here. Hi. I've been silent for the past half hour, but here I am
Mine's about
still.
I'm
50.
interested in what you were thinking about, Kelly.
Okay, I was thinking about, I thought when you said, or either, I don't know if it was Lyra or if it was Dale. I don't know which one it was, but I think it was, I thought something to do with our lawyers that we have to tell them that you guys are helping us. But I thought we have to give you guys their
Yes.
their address or email address or something. I didn't know what.
I
Yeah,
don't think.
well, this is just me personally, and you know how to get in contact with Lyra, and
Right.
No, no, no. It's the attorneys, and I understand what you're saying, but it'll be in the documents that you're sending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there
I
is
Right,
no
understand.
need
right,
for
it
you to
will
Yeah,
be.
you're
give us
right.
any of that
You're
information. It will all
you're right.
be included in the documents.
Okay, the other
Okay.
thing is we have two sets of attorneys. Well, three.
Well,
We have Brian Gordon as the first one that
well,
we
here's
will
my
find.
suggestion.
Well,
Here's
it's
my suggestion that you just in relationship, there's personal information that you have or communications that you have with your attorneys, and you can just say you have some close friends that are volunteering to help you. If you need us to do something, just get a list.
Okay, we'll do
Okay,
that.
okay.
we don't
Okay.
need to
Okay.
communicate
We'll
with
do
the
that.
attorney.
Okay.
We just got to say, gee, our attorneys would like, you might have a list of 10 things that they would like us to do. We may
Okay.
not be able to do all of them, but we can do anything we can to help, anything we're capable of, we can help and regarding your case. That
And
way,
if they want to speak with us, then they have contact information for us. But
Okay.
we're independent here.
Right. Okay.
Okay, we
I
don't want to get mixed up with what their interpretation and understanding is.
Right,
If they
Right.
want to
Okay.
find out more about what we're doing, if they want to discuss, we will look and defer to your attorneys. What are they saying as far as what you understand? We're talking with you. We're helping you. We're not, it's
Okay.
like,
I understand now.
and then uh, and you can say if one of the attorneys poses something to you, you could actually say, could I get one of my friends to help me? And
Okay.
because okay, and so we're just acting as a support system for you and your mom
Right.
and your
Okay.
baby.
Okay.
So and then
Right.
and he may say, yeah, absolutely. Well, and then feel free to give any of your attorneys my number, okay? And then
they
and
Okay.
can
then
go to the website if they want to. I mean,
so,
and we
Okay.
we have we have contact information here. We're legitimate in all regards, and that's what we're here to show that in everything we do.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And right now, I'm a firm believer in dancing with the girl that brung me. Okay, so your attorneys have done all this work, and well, I'm happy to do whatever they want to do until
Okay.
you get the feeling that something is really wrong, and that's your feeling, and that's got to come from you.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and then
I
we
understand.
say, and I'm not saying, Kelly, that you would be right. I say, well, Kelly, there may be something that doesn't feel right to you, but once it's explained and you understand it, that we may demonstrate that they're doing just exactly what they should do.
Okay.
So, and I'm not saying, so I'm not judging one way or the other. I'm just letting you have control of everything that goes on, so that we build a strong help and a support system.
Support system around. Yeah, we're here
Okay.
to help you. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
what we want to do. And again, anything we suggest you do, if you feel that you need to run it by your attorney, that's probably best. unless you don't trust your attorney, in which case you need to be looking for another attorney.
Right.
I mean, that is the truth of that. So
Yeah.
Right. Right.
and we're going to be helping you. Like I say, Scott's still waiting for word from the Department of Health and Human Services there in Jefferson to find out if there's disability rights attorneys and advocates in your area that can help you in your area, because you definitely need somebody to support you right there.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah. Right.
looking long term, and Marge, this is going to address the issue of what's going to happen. What we need is a lot of legal representatives that are working together. Because ultimately, what we want is a class action suit against the hospital, against the judge,
Yeah, and
against the court system,
right.
and
I
so
said Dan was talking to you. So yeah, Dan was talking to you.
Okay, what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
so
I
so
was just telling her that. I was just telling her that you were talking to her. So.
yeah. Well, I was just saying, Marge, the fact that there's there are all these bad actors. What we need all the attorneys that we can get that are advocates for our cause against this illegal conspiracy that's taking place in both in child services, in the hospital, in the courts.
Courtrooms.
All the bad actors. We want an investigation like Mueller. We want to get all the bad guys, okay?
And
So
so, look for other parents too that have been.
It doesn't behoove us. We're desperately in need of qualified legal representation. So it doesn't behoove us to make adversaries out of attorneys that have this. This is one of their passions to help people in this area with children. So we look at the idea. We're building a team, and a big part of that team is legal representation. So we want to make friends,
not enemies.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need attorneys.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I was going to say, I was thinking about, we were thinking about trying to contact people within our area who have dealt with DFS, but I'm a little bit nervous about doing that because I don't want them to retaliate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we have adversaries out there. So this is what I'm saying. If we closely communicate with one another, and if we bring an attorney on board, we know that he's not a provocateur that's in here to sabotage our efforts.
Right.
There's all kinds of agencies that are out there making lots of money off of this. And when you start screwing around with money, streams of income, then you got yourself a handful. And it's the way that you were vilified, and the way the evidence was collected, and the way that you were made.
Stereotyped.
Hold on. Oh shit. Oh.
Uh-oh.
We have technical difficulties for a moment.
Experiencing technical difficulties.
The battery was low and the adapter got unplugged.
Oh.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. Well, I think that it is time to actually wrap it up.
Okay, gotcha.
The angst and anxiety keeps welling up when we talk more about this, and I understand that, this is really hard for this family to cope with, and I'm hoping that we have given them some relief by offering the support and comfort, and we're going to follow through.
Yes.
And that is what's important here, and to provide this, and we're asking others to do the same. I mean, not just hand somebody a piece of paper and say, read through this and you'll know what to do. Not everybody works that way. Not everybody learns that way. There's a lot of people who don't understand the color of the law versus, you know, the spirit of the law or the ethics of the law or the jurisprudence, you know, or the natural law or, you know, the federal law versus the
Or the
civil law or
prevailing, the
the
prevailing
mariner's
law.
law or the prevailing law, you know, and there's so much information out there right now that is bombarding these parents who are asking for help. And this is not how help works for most parents. And this is,
At least,
we're here to share and help facilitate a better understanding and comprehension in a way that is working individually with these parents.
and and the strategy that's going to get the result and the outcome.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
yeah, that's the one that works, Lyra. You
So
know,
I'm admitting Kelly. Kelly, we're gonna wrap up this evening's meeting. I'm glad that you were able to join again. I hope that you feel some comfort and assurance that we're here to help, and that you have a list of to-do items to work on. And
Yeah.
I hope that you can find those other parents who have been discriminated in your area. And there are ways you could probably work through it without drawing attention to yourself. You can, as a parent advocate for the Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families, represent yourself as such and not represent yourself immediately as, well, I was a victim here. You can
Right,
just
okay.
say,
Right.
I'm here to assist,
Pretty
you
much
know, to find out if there's anything we can do to help facilitate and start helping, you know, others in your area. Okay.
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 And so yeah, like I said,
Okay.
Marge, you don't have to identify this is your case that you're
Right.
fighting. You can identify with the Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families as a parent advocate and go in that way. And then, of course, as you get more familiar with the people that you're speaking with, you're going to feel more secure in sharing some of what you have experienced as well.
Okay, so do I go through, do I go through posting on your site instead of mine? If I want to get in contact with somebody, do I use, instead of posting on my site, because that's going to give my name as,
So you go to the Coalition page
okay,
you know, on Facebook, and
uh-huh,
you submit like anything you want, and I'll put you in as a manager so that you
okay,
can go through the site and do it that way.
okay,
Okay.
I mean, it's not a site, it's the Facebook page, so then you can share that
right,
Facebook page to the other groups, and it's not coming from you, it's coming from the Coalition for the Protection of Children
okay,
and Families.
that's the
okay,
equivalent of an administrator.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have bumped up from not only just a parent advocate, but now you're an administrator. Woo! Party!
It's gonna,
thank you, thank you.
you know, volunteers, administrators, attorneys. We're building an organization, so
Yes,
so we just as this thing grows, we have the capacity to do more.
Okay,
that's right. And so, you know, I'm glad that you keep persevering here, and it will work out for you. I have
Right.
faith. I have
Exactly. Yeah.
faith.
Right.
We're gonna make it work out.
Right. Right.
That's
And
the
we
way
will
it is.
get Michael back too. I know
Like
that.
it's like building a house. You know,
Right.
we just keep working until it's done.
That's
Right.
right.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Thank
okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you all for
See
all
you
your
Saturday.
support.
We'll see you Saturday. Okay.
Okay. See you
Okay, thank
Saturday.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It's going to take me a few to get you on admin, but I'll work on that shortly, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
Marge? All right.
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Take care.
How's your tooth?
Bye-bye.
Better.
Better. That's good.
Okay,
That's
good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, Lyra.
Good night.